Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Drizzy and Morgan Show. We are back once again. You know the vibes. Listen, as it's the topic of Father's Day, I thought it would be poignant and interesting to actually have my father, who is our special guest today. Round of applause, people, to Courtney Morgan.
Thank you, son. Thank you.
Welcome, Pops.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
Enough love.
I had this idea, Dad, for a while, you know, and I just, we have conversations all the time as a team, and we just feel a lot of the time men don't get their just deserves when it comes to the duties that we actually take on in life in general. I feel like, this is just my opinion, I don't know how the man them feel, Drizzy might feel differently. In my opinion, women usually get the accolades because they are usually the sole guardians in a single parent home to the child. It's very rare you hear, you know, a man getting custody of a child, or it's very rare you hear men raising children and their opinions and their side of things. And we know all over the world there's plenty of good men doing that in society, and I just don't feel like it gets highlighted enough. So based on that, I want to commend you first and foremost.
Thank you.
Because, you know, I'm 47 now.
Ooh.
47 now. And I attribute getting to this point and feeling the way I do as a man to you. Well, so first and foremost, I want to just congratulate you for that.
Thank you. Respect.
Congratulations, people.
Respect.
But the question I want to first ask you, Dad, is how you actually felt in the beginning. At the time, I was 3 years old. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And obviously you connecting with Mom, and I was already there in the picture. Mm-hmm. What was the emotions? How did you feel about that at the time?
I think it's all about love.
Right.
Because I loved your mum very much.
Yep.
And that was part of the whole package.
Right.
That I saw the responsibility in getting involved with.
Right.
So that was natural for me.
Yeah.
And of course, when you become a parent, there is not an apprenticeship.
No, there's not.
How you bring that family up.
Yeah.
You know, you sort of reflect on how you were brought up.
Yeah.
And the various disciplines and so forth that you were shown when you were brought up.
Yeah.
But I think then you learn that it's your responsibility to provide.
Yeah, of course.
To protect.
Yeah.
And also to discipline.
So would you say that just came naturally to you? It was you met Mum, I was there, and you just naturally just said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And was there any apprehensiveness behind it? Or was you just like, I love this woman and this is what she brings to the table and I'm going to embrace that? Is that what?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, when you take on that responsibility,
yeah,
you embrace what comes along with that.
Right. And
that's exactly what I did.
Right.
You know?
Which I'm truly, truly grateful for, Dad. Real talk. How did it? What was it like bonding with me as a child, as a kid?
Well, because we spent, and of course, when you spend time with somebody, that's the most important thing, because you then develop that quality of that relationship. Yeah. So it was natural. Right. It was a natural bond.
Yeah.
You know, and as I said, you then quickly realize that you have to sort of protect, provide for the child as well. Mm-hmm. So all these things came in naturally then thereafter. Yeah, because
obviously I've not known anyone else. Mm. So obviously for me, I just grew up, and you was my father figure. You was my dad. You was the person who provided for me, provided for the family. You was the person that gave me my principles. You were the person that obviously gave me spiritual value. Obviously, we're Christians as well, and so that all through that whole the beginning stages of my life, I remember. I don't know if I've mentioned it to you before. I remember all those days that we used to be in Perivale. We lived in Perivale. Shout out to anyone from West London that knows about Perivale. Bloop, bloop, bloop. And that was a great times in my life because we used to go to the park all the time. I just remember going to the park, riding bikes. My brother was already in the picture as well. Shout out to Teeks, my broski, love. And it was just like that sense of familiarity, that sense of protection, and I came home from school every day, and I was just, I had my mum and my dad there, and I feel like that was really, really, really important for me.
And I think even now it's if you have that, I think that foundation is what kids needs today. If they have that solid foundations to build on, and of course you can then pass it on to your next generation. Of course, you've got
My son.
your son, yeah.
Shout out to Shire.
Yeah, Shire. And then you can pass all these these qualities and all these attributes and all these things that you've picked up to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he will pass it on. And then obviously parenthood has changed over the years.
Yeah.
From my time, from my dad's time to my time to your time.
Yeah.
And that's how it is. It's just a natural progression, isn't it?
It is a natural progression. We'll get to that with my son and how I feel about that. What I wanted to ask you was, at the time, what was the discussions like with discipline? Because even with my son, me and Lisa have learned, because we didn't know at the beginning, how to navigate with the discipline tasks and who was the good cop, bad cop in that situation. But obviously you when you came into my life, obviously I was already there. And again, I didn't know any different. Was there discussions with you and mum on how to discipline and how to set the task out, so to speak?
I mean, look, I must admit there was no timetable. There was nothing written down as how to do it, how to discipline. But what we would do is, if there was an issue, then we would discuss it, and we would then come to a conclusion together, and then we would then pass it on. But normally you find, like with the mums, they would leave the discipline in to the dads,
of course,
and we know that discipline can come in different forms. I mean, it's not like in my day there seemed to be only one form of discipline.
Of course, man. Licks.
Yeah, exactly.
But shout out to those who got licks. Shout out. Yeah, man.
But now it's changed so much.
100%.
I mean, as you know, discipline could be, just comes in awful. Take one of their, their favorites away from them.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Because again, obviously you not being my biological father and raising two sons until Ryan came later on. It was initially me and Teeks for quite a while. I didn't feel any different to him. I didn't feel like there was any favoritism. I didn't feel like, why am I getting treated differently to him? Most of the time we both got the licks and we both got the same discipline, and we both got, what we needed from you in terms of guidance. And that's commendable, Dad. That is so commendable, because again, in this new era, it's different, Dad. This new era, women, I feel, expect you to just take them and their children on. Two, there's a lot of discrepancy between who's going to be the discipline, who's going to discipline. And I imagine you go into a household and the child's a little bit older, and then you've come into a woman's life, and you can see that there's certain things that child is not doing, or the way that child's acting needs to be addressed. And a lot of women don't like that. Do you know what I mean? They leave, that's my child, I'm going to do the discipline. And it can cause a lot of conflict within the household. And I can imagine.
I think it can do, but then it really depends on you and your partner having that discussion.
Yeah.
And you have to obviously get together and decide how you're going to discipline.
Yeah.
In what form that discipline is going to take, because discipline can take all forms, can't it?
Absolutely.
So what form you're going to discipline? Normally, the disciplining is left to the dad, but also now, of course, the mum can do the discipline as well.
Yeah.
Because if you're not there, it's not like in our day when my mum used to say, "Okay, wait until your father get in," and it used to be like fear because we know what we were going to get.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it could be totally different now.
Yeah,
so both of you decide. And the thing about it is, if Lisa is going to discipline, then you support her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you support her at that time.
Yeah.
Now, if at that time you thought, oh, that discipline may have been a little bit harsh, you have the discussion with Lisa together.
Yeah, and a one-to-one.
One-to-one.
Yeah.
And how you're going to move forward with that.
Yeah.
Not show that you disagree with that in front of the child.
That's what we've learned as well, Dad, in my household, because my Shire always leans towards the weaker. I wouldn't say in physically weaker, emotionally weaker. And that's usually my wife. That's usually Lisa. And I've had to have conversations with her just to say, we need to stick together in this. This is us. Like, we can't let you can see our child is trying to create a division. Because and I understand why he does it.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's going to get more of a receptive emotion, an opinion, or it's going to fare more kindly if Lisa disciplines. Where if he knows it's me, he knows. I've discussed it with the man them a lot. I've spoken to the guys about it. It's saying no. I'd rather say no, Dad, first, and then go, okay, I'll change my mind. Then saying yes, and then that's it. You can't even. When you say yes, that's it. You're in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but it really depends on what it is and what they're asking you. What if they come and ask you something and you know that it's at this time it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you say, well, maybe it's not going to happen at this time. Maybe now another time, and so forth.
Yeah.
But the thing with kids are, they will look for the ones that they can get a more positive response from.
Yeah.
So they will go to that. If their mum, they will always go to mum because you guys done it.
Yeah.
You'll go to your mum and you say, "Mum, I know what Dad's going to do." So do you know what? Let me go and ask mum.
We know.
Mum first.
Yeah, she's softer.
Because she's softer.
Yeah.
And normally women are because and that's what they do.
Absolutely.
Because they're clever. Kids are like that. They learn very quickly.
Keish, you're softer, aren't you? You are the softer ones.
Yeah.
If you had a son, and I'm sure in the near future, well, in the foreseeable future, you will have a child, you know that you're going to just be a target.
Oh, 100%. But I'm also still, I don't know, with my nieces and nephews, I'm still quite like, I'm like the auntie that's the strict one.
Okay.
But there's like 6 of us that are the aunties,
Right.
but I'm the strictest.
Right.
Because I just feel like if you let it get out of hand, then,
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm still soft with it though.
Yeah.
I'm still like, give you a chance, and then if not, I'm not a licks auntie, or
No.
I wouldn't be a licks person, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay, let's have a real talk, Dad, because I feel like our audience need to know this type of information. You're not my biological father, but for the sake of this conversation, you're not my biological father, but you raised me and you are my dad. You are my father. When was there a conversation with Mum about letting me know the situation and how you needed to let me know how this whole dynamic was working? Because I can understand. There's a point. I'm sure there's a point within your mum's growth and raising us that you said to each other, okay, we need to let him know what the situation is. Did that conversation happen? And was there times when you feel like maybe you should have told me before or earlier, or was there did you know?
I think you're always conscious about these things,
Right?
And you're also sort of looking for a suitable time. You're looking for a timing where you think, how can I then address this conversation? How can I address this matter?
Yeah.
And how can I have that chat with Gino? And the timing didn't seem to be right, and simply because you were always happy.
Yeah.
You're always part of the family.
Yeah.
You were always a Morgan as far as I was concerned.
Facts.
So there wasn't any point in me having that conversation with you. But I remember a specific time when you said, I want to know who my biological father was.
Yeah.
And you came to me with that.
Yeah.
And I said, well, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You're old enough now to pursue that. And if that's what you'd want to do, that's fine. You do that.
Yeah.
So I actually encouraged you to do that.
Yeah. And I didn't feel like your mum even at one point stopped me from doing it. It caused a lot of conflict at the time. I think I was 15, 16.
Yeah, you were about 15, 16, yeah.
And it caused a lot of conflict within the house because you can imagine when I was told, I just had a million and one things spinning in my head. Plus, I'm not even a man. So I'm just trying to process this whole situation. And I had to go on my own discovery. I had to go on my own journey to figure that things out. Did you feel like at some point I would figure that out, come back, and then we would be like how we are today? Or was you like, oh damn, this could take a turn?
As far as I was concerned, I mean, I just gave you the love that I felt was necessary as a father at that time.
Yeah.
I also thought it was very important for you and for your development emotionally that you wanted to pursue that.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to pursue that, however way you went out and you got the answers, and then you then have a chat with me about it.
Yeah.
We would just talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, because we had that relationship and 100%. We had that understanding anyway.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a point that, look, do you know what? It's gonna cause maybe an issue or maybe a division or anything like that in the household, because it wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I just again, I went okay. So the story was when I found out, I was angry. I had resentment. I then started looking outwards, and when I met my biological father, I honestly thought, Pops, that this was gonna be this euphoria, this moment of euphoria, where I'll be like, damn, the guy who is the same blood as me, this is him. Pops, without being disrespectful, because we're not a disrespectful podcast, it was far from that.
Okay.
And I felt like I let you down for a bit. I really did. I felt like I let you down because it's the unknown. When you go into those situations, all you're doing is hoping for the best. All you're doing is, even at points I thought, right, I might just have two popses. I might have two dads, and that's a wave. Like, you got two, men. So
let me just ask let me ask you a question.
Go for it.
What was your real expectations when you decided to go out there and pursue that? What was your expectations?
I thought Donnie was going to be like, come, let's go. Like, this is who I am. I'm going to hold my hand up to my mistakes for the reason why I wasn't in your life. And then I was just going to ride off into the sunset. Like, I thought it's this fairy tale thing. And when I first met him, it was more like, don't even know who this, like, this is not even, you got to remember, we come from very loving family, very warm, very, we communicated all the time. Like, you and mum and my brothers, we're just those type of people. Like, you know what I mean? God-fearing people as well. So it was so alien to me at the time that when I spoke to him and I thought, okay, cool, this is the man I'm supposed to look like. And it was just like, ugh. Real talk, Dad. And I'm not doing that. I'm not saying that for your sake. I'm saying that because that's exactly how it was. It was just like, I don't even, of course we didn't know each other, but it didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like, okay, cool. Okay, this is the person that who I can create a new bond with and then keep it moving. It was just like, nah, this ain't it. Do you know what I mean? This ain't it. Which kind of made me a little bit more like, it's messed me up even more to a degree, Dad. And then I feel like when you and I really found our bond again is around the time that I was deciding to settle down with Lisa, around the time that Shy came, those stuff that happened, those real things started happening in my life, where now I'm becoming a parent, where I'm now taking on the responsibility of being a provider. And then all of the things that you did for me flashed back in my head. It was just like, wow, like, this is... Because
don't forget, when you decide you're going to take on that role as a provider, you provide... use that word provider.
Yeah.
You're talking about providing financially, emotionally, mentally, any and every other way.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you said, okay, so I'm going to also be a protector.
Yes.
So I'm going to protect that child in every way as well.
Yeah.
That's the role you've taken on. And then the other role, you said, okay, I'm going to be a disciplinarian as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to teach that child discipline, how to discipline. And that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So that's the role that you take on, which is you accept it. And I think it's important if you get, you have relationships where, guys meet girls and then there is another person in that relationship, another child in that relationship.
Yeah.
It's very important that discussion is had very earlier on in the relationship of how receptive either one is going to be regarding that other life, because it's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really important. It's basic principles and values that a lot of people lack in 2024. Do you know what I mean? And I want our audience to know, I should say that, family is family, and it doesn't matter who they are, as long as there is a positive and there is a loving, nurturing feeling within that family unit. That's the most important thing. Do you know what I mean? Again, not everybody has two parents. Not everybody's lucky to have that. We're lucky to have one. But for me, I felt I really, really counted myself lucky. And sitting here today, Dad, and this is why I wanted to sit and chat with you, because not only obviously it's Father's Day, but I definitely wanted to just have a real conversation with you about it, and hopefully people watching can learn and take little gems from the situation. So with that being said, I love you, Dad.
Love you too, son.
And I'm going to give you a hug and try not to get too emotional.
Love you too, son. Love you too.
All right, people. Round of applause to Courtney Morgan. Pops, hang about, do your thing. Stay for dinner, of course. Lisa's gonna cook some
just
food.
Kick him out.
Yeah,
thanks, bye.
Gonna cook.
See you later, mate.
But thanks for being with us today, Dad. You know the vibes. Round of applause to Courtney Morgan. Blessings, 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 blessings. And yes, people, Drizzy, Freckles, and I will be back for another episode in a fortnight. So make sure you stay tuned. Keisha, could you let them know where to catch us? Let them know.
Sorry, you guys got me. I'm in bits.
Do you want me to do? Yeah. Okay. everyone. We're all on DSPs. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. We're on Google Podcasts, which I think is about to end very, very soon. Actually, you can also get us on the new YouTube podcast. I forgot what it's called. Is it called YouTube Podcast? Anyway, catch us on all DSPs and definitely check us out. Like and subscribe to the channel, which is Drizzy Morgan.
All the links
Drizzy
will be in the
Morgan
description anyway.
Yeah, and all the links are in the show. Peace, people. I'll see you very soon. Blessings. Blessings, Dad. Respect.